Ladies, gentlemen, and TCG players of all parts of the gender spectrum. My name is J3 Puffin, and I'm here today with Sparrow.
Hi.
Just the two of us today. We're back with another custom set review. I know it's been a minute. It's been a minute for us when it comes to Weiss stuff too, but we are surely and slowly getting back into the swing of things here with Spyro's custom set for Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared. Spyro, do you want to
Uh,
give the people at home a little walkthrough of what
Okay,
exactly
yeah.
this is?
Yeah, I know it's a bit out there. I'll say for a fact, if it wasn't for the costume Discord having stuff like Donkey Kong Country and Scooby Doo and Power Rangers, I would probably never have the guts to actually make this. But, since they did, I was like, okay, I guess I can actually make my dreams come true. Don't hug me, I'm scared. This is like a quote unquote cult classic YouTube web series. That's what it started as. The premise is that there are these like Sesame Street like puppets that are being taught horrific life lessons through songs, where, it starts very innocent, but it gets really weird by the end of the episode. That was the idea of the YouTube videos, which were like 5 minutes. And that, it got really popular. And eventually it got picked up to become a fully fledged television series. The television series has a bit more of a, it's still mostly focused on the like comedic, it's like a dark comedy with a lot of absurd humor and, more of a creepy atmosphere than full on horror. But obviously, because now it's a full length, like 20-minute episode, they couldn't have just one song, so they had to have an actual, somewhat cohesive plot. Uh, and that's basically this set is based specifically on the television series because I think it just makes sense. Like if this thing became an actual set, it would be the official thing. It wouldn't be the random YouTube series. And
Yeah,
also,
that's true.
yeah, some people might say that I should have made both, but I really cannot because they are basically different continuities
Mm.
for the most part. And even if I said that they are the same continuity, which some people have theories for that, don't worry, this thing has theories for days if you like that stuff. Even if I were to say that they are the same continuity, there would be a big issue with the global trait that I will explain what once we see what the global trait
With that, shall we go to the set breakdown? Pretty graphs.
is a very pretty graph.
So I think the most important thing to address first is that this is a three-color set. There is absolutely no blue to be found.
Yeah, at first I was going to have blue. What I quickly realized is that if I made blue to put all of the extra characters, because that was the idea, then the main three colors would have basically one character each.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure if I want to do that. So I just decided, okay, I'm just going to take all of the non main characters and split them between the three colors based on how the vibes are going. And we'll just have no blue.
I'm very much not familiar with this series except for what I have seen looking through these cards, but it definitely looks like the right choice.
I think you've seen like the posters or whatever. There are three main characters. One of them is a yellow dude, one of them is a red dude, and one of them is a green duck. I think that immediately just creates the image of, okay, we have the yellow, the green, and the red in your mind. So I think it's not weird at all.
I like that we have, what is that? That's five yellow climaxes and not a single win to be found. It is choice shot
Uh,
and a two stock. Let's talk
yeah,
about it.
that's a it's a bit of a personal, not failing, but at some point I started to like salt a lot,
Ah.
and I started putting salt in everything. In this set in particular, I didn't go in with the intent to put a shot. Like the shot climax was a wind initially,
Oh.
but it just so happened that the specific combo it was on made absolutely no sense to be a wind, and it made way more sense to be a sod, just naturally, without me trying to force the sod. My fate to use sod all the time sort of continued itself.
I mean, it fits now with how Weiss sets seem to be going nowadays, anyway, right? Because most of the time it is just the pile of choice in yellow, and maybe you'll see something. I feel like the equivalent for this set is that we have an 8 bag set up apparently, just laying around here.
Yeah, this is another thing where this is my most recent set, by the way, and I really wanted to cover. I tried to cover a lot of things that I had neglected in the past.
Mm.
One of them was bag. For all the insane ideas I have come up with in the past for shot and book and all kinds of two soul trigger climaxes.
Mm.
I had never sat down to cook up something for bag, and I was feeling a little guilty about that. So since this set has like since would be a 3 color set, so it has the room to have 4 green climaxes. I was like, okay, if there is a time for the 8 bag deck, it's probably here.
I guess we'll probably talk about it more in Red itself when we actually hit the climax in question. But salvage the what I'm calling the salvage soul profile, I don't think is anywhere else in Weiss.
No, no, it exists.
Oh, it does.
Uh, you're probably more familiar with the tier V one that grabs soul triggers,
Oh yeah.
but there is also this version that you grab a character with an equal or lower to your level. I just felt it was a little more fitting for what the use case was for this in particular. I know you played with Sentence of a Bookworm on stream. The pound cake climax he had, that one is also the same climax
Right, and that
as
was
this.
actually a
Yeah,
thing that was real,
yeah,
not okay.
yeah. Yeah, because I remember, like I told him, you can choose that or the soul trigger, and he said, I kind of want to have the level X or lower so that I can get a level 1 backup, which made
Mm.
sense. I get a little sad because, like, you see, I have some really outdated and weird ones that I always try to find a reason to make useful, but just today we got a reveal that makes all of these potentially not so innovative anymore. Not that they're not innovative as an idea, but they maybe lose their purpose as being two soul triggers, but it's fine. We're not
Yeah,
going to talk about that.
yeah, that'll. God, that's probably deserves to be a video entirely unrelated to any custom set stuff, or just like talking about what they did there. Anyway,
Yeah, it's
uh,
fine.
I think we're covered there, and we can move on to the trial deck. I'm gonna flash on screen the deck list for the trial deck.
Yeah,
So if you wanna,
this is something I like to do. I don't think anyone else does it. I like to also lay out what exact ratios the trial deck will have. I don't know. I just think that's kind of the point of a trial deck generally, to have like a complete product, quote unquote. So, and I feel like, if someone wants to take 2 of my custom sets and, they want to do a trial deck versus trial deck sort of try out, I think they should be able to without having to guess what's the 4 of and what isn't.
yeah,
Uh,
that makes sense.
the the one weird thing with this trial deck compared to my other ones is that this one has 3 colors, which is extremely rare.
True.
I only know Mob Psycho from real sets that does that. Here it was unavoidable. It would feel very bad if I excluded any singular color from here because so much of the show's vibe is based around the 3 main characters just vibing.
Yeah, like
Yes.
you really could not sell that if you only had 2 of the colors, and you had to like even like trying to put like one of them in another color. Yeah, no, that.
Yeah, that's the other solution they do sometimes where they put characters in a different color. I couldn't do that here. Like they literally represent their colors by their design. I feel like it would be really weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. And the other thing of note, which is sort of a new, look, it's a design shift in my brain over time, where this a specific trial deck doesn't have a two-soul climax. Usually they have, a four of, and then they have a two of, and then a two, and then they usually have a plus two soul
Yeah.
with no combo. This one doesn't have one, and the reason it doesn't have one is because I already have a two soul elsewhere in the set. Back then, they didn't care at all, but over time, as I saw the rise and fall of all of these Sura strats of the past few years,
Yeah.
I made I've made the conscious decision to only have one two soul in its set unless I specifically was trying to build a Sulras deck. For that reason, we have 4 and 4 in this one, and also because I tend to try to make these in a way to where you wouldn't need to buy two, even though these are not real. But I
Yeah.
just hate buying two trial decks for a two of, and the rest is useless.
Yeah.
So
Same.
I I lay this out specifically in ways to where you don't need to buy a second one. Like even when I have level 3 combos, I have a bonder to the combo, or I have a combo that only works with one lane. If we do all of my sets, you'll see how many weird tricks I've done with that. But yeah, that's that.
Yeah. Now we can go into the card by card, starting with yellow guy catching all the fishes. So he is an on play level exchange, anything level exchange, which is nice. And he's also a drop salvage.
This one was one of the last cards I made. I needed to basically just round out utility stuff. Well, this is during the song where they are singing about what jobs they can potentially get, and in this specific scene, it's what if he was a fisherman and catching all the fishes in a big net. I have the lyric here.
Hmm. Yeah.
So the idea with this one, like in terms of the flavor, is that you can store a card in your level zone with the level exchange, and then you can get it out of there later because if you have a card there that you want, you can exchange it. It goes into your waiting room, then you can salvage that card back into your hand. So it's as if you have
Right.
like a net. It's as if your level zone is a net where you can store all of your proverbial fishes
Oh,
to
that's I
get
really like
later.
that.
There is technically a little bit. There are two cards in the set that have a very light experience gimmick, so that also covers any corner cases with that. Though I don't think it will matter for that.
This card seems super
Uh,
solid. Like
like,
I don't know, probably like that. I mean, if the deck was more
oh,
defined by an experience mechanic for sure, then obviously it'd probably go even further. But just
yeah,
the combination of just like put anything in there, whatever you want. Yeah, those effects work super well
yeah.
together and all that.
I think they would definitely. I think this is like because a lot of people wouldn't play a drop salvage by itself. I think this might push people to play one just because it can potentially set up something crazy. I'm just gonna put like a plus, minus, or plus is I like what I was thinking and I don't have a problem with it. Like and then minus if I have regrets
Hmm.
and just gonna
Yeah,
leave it blank if I don't have any feeling about the matter.
yeah. It's basically how we did the Ferric Knights too.
Yeah.
I like that as the going standard. All right, moving along. We have Yellow Guy making bits and parts.
All of your other June 20th characters get plus 500 power. And it's also on reverse reveal 3, add one character, send her to the waiting room, and then discard the card. I think that's a Rize, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I don't remember the word either, but I've definitely. I mean, the
Okay.
only one that I've actually seen played, and that's recently, is the Watame that can also just scoop up cost zero green characters.
Yeah,
Because
it's a pretty outdated effect. Back in the day, it was a rare worthy, I remember, in some older sets.
oh
But,
jeez,
you know,
yeah, times have definitely
uh,
changed on that.
yeah, this one is probably the most whatever. That was, again, it was one of the last cards I made and I was literally like, okay, I just need some effects to put on this, I guess.
That's fair.
And I don't know. Yeah, these might seem like weird effects to put together, but I think in practice it's probably a little better than it seems because this can just sit in the back row, give some power, and if it needs to attack, it can sort of give you something in return, everyone else will still gain power from the front row. It's not like it has an effect that only works from the back row. The
Yeah.
first effect can work from anywhere. So I think maybe it's fine. There is no specific flavor here. It's just a card,
Yeah.
but I think we're going to take this time to explain the global trade a little bit. One of the running gags in the original sort of YouTube series was that in the background, the calendar always said June 19th. No matter what, it was always June 19th. And then at the very, very end of the last episode of the YouTube series, they zoom into the calendar and you see the date changing to June 20th, and that's where the YouTube series ends. Now, fast forward to the television series,
Mm.
and now in this series, in the background, the calendar always says June 20th this time.
Huh.
The people who believe that they are in the same continuity, this is literally the only actual piece of evidence they have. Because if you look at literally any other fact about the two series, there is no way they are the same continuity. But some people want to dream.
Some people want to dream. Damn.
But yeah, this is. I think it's just like a cute reference that it's the next series, so it has the next date. But yeah, that's why that's the global trade, mainly because I couldn't think of anything else, and this set already has a lot of moving parts, so I could not work with trade soup in any
Yeah.
universe.
Yeah. The
Uh,
That's probably the most interesting thing about this set is just the number of moving parts that we're going to be seeing in things. This
yeah,
is
this
like a
is neutral.
that,
I don't have anything. Yeah, it's just a card to complete the cards.
yeah, it card. Moving along, we have.
Okay, here's another card. Okay.
Well, it's a climax combo. It's a little bit more than that. This is
Okay, yeah, there are some stuff to talk about, but
yeah.
not much.
This is Yellow Guy after 40 years of service. If you have another June 20th character, so this card gets plus 2500 power and plus 1 level. And then when this card attacks, if the choice climax is in your climax area and you have another character, so basically, your whole card just needs one every guy on field, you're a Magaro. you're, you're a Magaro that gets
Yeah,
plus 1
you know,
level.
first of all, simple, classic trial deck combo does a very nice, simple thing that's not terrible. But it definitely gets the job done. You never feel bad to play something like this, even if it's not necessarily the best. As far as sort of the little bit of weird things going on, the plus one level has no use for the trial deck specifically, but in the core set we have basically a variation on the Forbidden Library slash Spartan training style of events where you return a level 2 or higher character of a name to
Right.
play any character of that name from your hand.
Okay.
So, and then usually in the sets with those, they almost always have some sort of 1/0 character of that name that gets plus one level, just so you can further sit costs. And
Yeah.
I want, and and this, I took it one step further and said, okay, it's your pretty decent climax combo that has that specifically, so you don't even have to play something stupid to get the, just to fulfill the condition. Uh,
Fascinating, especially because the this now randomly it's immune to there's like the level 1 bombs that exist in the world, but now
yeah.
randomly some guy
Uh,
some absolute mad lad could just run along and early play bomb a level 1 combo if they just wanted to burn cards or something.
yeah,
That's
I think right now they are fairly popular actually because of Chainsaw Man and stuff. There are and Spy Family where
so
they have really big boards at level one.
yeah,
So
those
the
are
level
level 0
yeah,
bombs,
so
and
there are
but
yeah
do
yeah
they
there are a lot of people. There are a lot of people who are playing level one bombs now. That's what I mean compared to usually. So this theoretically would have a chance to be like well
hmm.
positioned, I guess, against those decks. but that's not the point. It's
Yeah,
just incidental. Yeah.
that's that's so weird. I went to I don't remember seeing any level one bombs or regionals, but I may have just been the matchups I was playing.
And yeah, it's
This
not
is
like a super popular thing. It's more so that some sets have them in convenient places, and so they play them.
yeah, the God, Chainsaw Man with the Himeno bottom deck bomb and me running 8 standby Hololive and just not like having to cut down to like one Luna just because I knew if I was gonna be playing CSM, they're gonna
Yeah,
have something to just
that's the
vanish snap.
absolute extreme. I'm gonna give it the plus just because I got a little clever with the level thing. I guess you can say, okay, time, the laws of physics in general are weird in the show, but
Yeah.
basically stuff happened and we are 40 years in the future now for like 2 minutes. So I guess you can say, oh, you might think he's still level one, but he's actually level two now.
Yeah,
He grew up.
it's the experience, the job
Yeah,
experience. All right. Yeah,
obviously, yeah.
yeah, that's fun. Next card.
Okay, this is the urinal, everyone's favorite character. Okay, he is a level assist, and when he attacks, he gets X power until end of turn, where X is the number of your other June 20th characters times 2500.
What the hell?
Okay, basically, this is a variation on the 2-1 Kisibe from Chainsaw Man. He's basically the same card, he just has different power conditions to achieve the same result, which is an assist that can attack for 13k if it feels like it. If
Right.
First of all, I really like that card. I think it's a very cute card. I don't think the deck for it exists, even in this set. I think it's just a cute profile. And the reason I gave it to this guy is just it kind of fits the flavor of the one thing he does. This is not an actual guy. This is basically just a background gag. A yellow guy and a red guy, they're in a bathroom and they're talking about some stuff. And as they are talking, it cuts to the background where it's the urinals, and one of the urinals is this guy, and then he just opens his eyes, uproots himself, and goes outside to smoke. And then after he finishes smoking, he goes back inside and then roots himself back down to where he was. It's kind of like a little smoke break, I guess.
Oh my.
Uh, okay,
God.
so the idea of this guy that's generally stationary but sometimes will uproot himself, it reminded me of the 2-1 Kisebe. So I was like, okay, let's make him that.
I love that. That's fantastic. Yeah, as far as the like,
Yeah, the
it's
card
fun
itself
because
is,
it's a level. It's basically a level 3 killer that you swing at
yeah,
13k.
yeah.
That
I guess I feel like there is a hypothetical deck somewhere that really likes this profile, but I don't know what it is exactly.
I don't know either. There is something there. Though you're right. Anyway, that's just funny. That's just, it makes sense, but wild. All right. I'm not gonna lie. I remember I was looking at the TD list and was like, oh, wait, did he do like an event? There's an event called like toilets. So it's like, oh, did
Yeah.
he have like a theme on that? But this is probably actually even funnier in a way. All right. Uh,
No, no, I get, yeah, it's out of a toilet, say urinal. Yeah, that'll be
yeah.
funny.
All right. Next card. Yellow guy pondering about jobs. What do you think it means to have a job? It's a great question. If you have two or more other global trait characters, this card gets plus 1500 power and hand encore. Traded hand encore for reasons. And then it's a heal. Very straightforward
Yeah,
TD healer.
yeah, it's literally the Sora from the Gen Zero to D.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
fair.
yeah, okay. On the surface, this is just your typical TD healer, but as I explained a little earlier, there is a forbidden library for yellow guys in this set.
Yeah,
So, hypothetically speaking, and you have the target for it in your combo, which becomes level 2. So, again, this is me just wanting to design the set around hypothetical budget players. So I'm like, okay, if you picked up
right.
the
Yeah.
entire deck and wanted to upgrade your deck in a cheap way without having to buy the expensive early play or whatever, you could just buy, you could just add a few. forbidden library events, and you can now your quote unquote bad trial deck healer suddenly becomes an early play that you can use in conjunction with your level one combo. Yeah, that's basically the extent of
Okay.
the use cases for this. But again, I just like having stuff like this baked into my design.
It definitely is a smooth way of giving the card an early play condition while keeping a decent body and stuff.
Like yeah, in actual constructed play, this card has no actual value. There is
Yeah.
an early play. There is an actual early play. I guess if you, I only if you really value the little higher power that it has compared to that. But yeah, I just thought instead of making a level three that's just a filler, I thought it should be something that can theoretically create a chip upgrade path.
Yeah. I do like that.
Okay,
All right. We move on to the duck. The first duck.
okay, this is Doug inventing a digital currency specifically based around respect.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So basically, okay. Once it's played from your hand, you can ditch a character. If you do, choose a card in your weight room, put in your memory, and at the beginning of your next turn, it return that character from your memory to your hand. And then he's also a runner that runs if something is facing him.
Hmm.
Basically, these are both standard effects. The second effect is just a run. The first effect, there is a Lamy that has this
Yeah.
in Hololive set one. Yeah, this one is like more of a just a filler, just flavor card, I guess. Because okay, I thought like digital currency. The first effect, he's investing for the future gains, you could say. And then
Okay.
the second effect is him running away with all of the scam money he made,
Oh my
I guess.
god. All right, that's fair. This is definitely low
Yeah,
on the
it's not
power
an
rating,
amazing card
especially
by
yeah.
no means. Yeah.
When I first built Gen 5, I was running that Lammy because I was like, well, I need cards to be in my memory to do things. It's like, brother, that ain't the way to do it. Even in set 1, you have at least a couple other ways. So, like, yeah, flavor card,
I mean, yeah,
fun
I
stuff.
like the idea of this effect, but yeah, it's probably too slow.
It just, you gotta be very intentional about doing something with it. Moving along, we have more cards. This is Unemployed Brendan. On play, reveal top card. If
Yeah.
it's an event or global trade character, put in your hand and ditch a card afterwards. And then on climax placement, you can bounce it to give one of your characters 2k until end of turn. Very good combination of
Okay,
abilities.
so spoiler alert, this set does not have standby. It does have a pseudo standby though, and the pseudo standby has its own more like specialized version of the climax bounce back.
Ah,
But I always like to think that some people might not like the specialized ideas I have. And so I want to always give them the standard alternatives. And this is just a good character for this to go on because, okay, unemployed Brandon, he's the brother of the briefcase
yeah.
that we will see later. Uh, and basically, in the Gorset, briefcase has a very funny little Sander combo built around him. I don't know about Batman Ninja because I've never seen anyone play that Sander, but at least in Gurren Lagann, in that Sander deck, people would run that set's climax bounce back character
Mm.
because the idea was that if you couldn't get rid of your last character, you would just play over him with your climax bounce back and then play the climax bounce back and that way you clear your board to fulfill the standard condition. So I thought, okay, yeah, since we don't have like an actual standby for this to generically benefit, and he's more so just here for the sake of giving the generic option. I guess it would make sense to be on the character that would have a reason to support the Sander character.
Yeah, I do like that.
The effects themselves, like I'm very, it's whatever. It's just a pretty simple bounce back profile but yeah, that's kind of the reasoning there.
Yeah.
Also, on an early note, this character is like, it's everyone's spirit animal. At least that's the consensus I've been hearing. I'm like, yeah, he's totally me. I'm also unemployed, even though I'm
Yeah.
even though I'm not named Brendan.
Hashtag unemployed Brendan. He is, yeah, you know what? At least for the moment, he is very much me as well. So you know what? Shoutouts to unemployed Brendan for being a solid card in this trial deck, representing us all. You go, brother. All right, next card.
Okay, yeah, this is Speaker. She has Bond to the Carehound and Duck back to work. We will see those very shortly. And she has Act, put herself into the waiting room, choose a generative character to give 2000 power and hexproof for the turn. Okay, also, funny little anecdote. This is the most generic hexproof I've ever made in any of my sets ever.
Yeah, that tracks.
And yeah, and you see, even though this is the most generic one, it's still pretty awkward to use. Just to goes to show what I think about hexproof in general. Yeah, this is a pretty typical sort of bonder profile. The two versions you generally see is either the ones that bond to one guy and then buff the guy, or the ones that bond to two guys and then do something unrelated.
Yeah.
This is the second one. The lore for this is a little complicated, but basically they send Doug. He's inside like a workplace where they want him to comply with, uh, how they do things, but he's not complying. So they send him to the speaker, which is supposed to rehabilitate him. And basically, she tells him that you can whisper all of your complaints to the mouth of the Carehound, and then he goes to the Carehound, which is the next card, which is just a vanilla. We can
Yep.
quickly look at it.
Behold,
Yeah, this is
it's
yeah.
a
I
guy.
even have it the flavor text. Just whisper your complaints very quietly into the mouth of the Carehound. Yeah. Okay. Duck goes to the Carehound. The Carehound eats him, then spits him out. And once he's spat out, he's a brainwashed, happy little worker that asks no
Oh,
questions. And
okay.
that brainwashed, happy little worker is the second Bond target for the speaker. And it also happens to be the finisher of the trial deck, so it also fulfills what I said before
Yeah.
of having a bonder so that you don't feel the need to buy a second one to get more copies.
Huh.
And
Okay.
then the extra effect is more of just okay. I felt like a modern sets does generally want to have some sort of protective something, and this one is just something I thought would be a fair way of doing it. It basically just think that bonds to stuff it cares about. That's the real extent of the flavor here.
I'm gonna buff this up more than I had it because I'm already seeing the lines in my head. This does some work. I do like the idea of the brainwasher giving hexproof as a sort of, oh yeah, you don't your head's empty now. They can't bother you with anything anymore.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, that's pretty clever actually.
Yeah.
Unintentional genius.
Yeah, no, this card is
Neat.
more interesting than solid. You know, it's probably not like your go-to for any particular deck, but
I definitely imagine because there are no other options for easy hexproof. I feel like maybe most competitive builds would run one of this just to
yeah.
have it to start spamming it during their killing turn.
Hmm. Yeah, for
Probably that.
like a
Yeah,
slower strat. Yeah, I can see that.
yeah,
Or like to just
that's
to guarantee the
probably
reverse on something. I'm sure that we
yeah,
have
yeah.
other places where
Okay,
that
yeah, there
reverse
are other
matters.
ways to get power. Yeah, what's unique about this one is just that it gives the hexproof. So, but I can see definitely people see running one just to have the option to give hexproof,
You get like four
even
cannon
without the
power.
bond targets. Yeah.
This yeah. Man, you can actually get super big with this. All right, let's go ahead. We'll revisit the Carehound just so I can comment on. Dear God, what what this this thing like? I understand it's called a Carehound because I guess the closest analog to any real creature is a dog, but like,
Okay. Yeah. The rule of thumb is the more you try to use logic to explain what is happening in the show, the more insane you get.
yeah, that
So
tracks.
it's better to just accept what is happening, and then you'll have fun.
Oh God. Yeah, that's my rating. All right. Well, moving on to the next card with text. This is Briefcase, who almost forgot his briefcase. I love how apparently this is common enough the yellow guy calls it out. So it's a level 2 2500 backup that it's the pay one stock to recycle itself.
because you drop them and then you're like, oh wait, I forgot my briefcase, and you grab him back.
Yeah.
That's the funny here. But yeah, this is pretty standard. That's the flavor, and the reason I wanted to have a backup like this in the set is specifically to support the DAC combo that we will see in green, the one that you can play multiple copies at level 2.
Hmm.
I, I felt like we needed. I like these backups for when you have a board of multiple guys to protect, because it can protect everybody with one backup. That's so I want to give them the option. That's about it. And this is just a very funny place to put that effect. It's not a crazy, like, it's more for the funny. So I'm just gonna leave it as a neutral.
Yeah.
But yeah, as you can see, I always have at least some funny reason
Yeah, for
for
sure.
these effects.
Yeah, like I like this kind of thing. I like it more on if I don't think the Hololive has one of the one that I'm thinking of because I know they have the Matsuri, but that's like it's also level 2. I like the idea of this on like a level 1 backup in a deck that is all about like act triggers. Like just having even
Maybe
just
I
like
don't
the
know.
one.
Yeah, currently I don't think there are any level 1 versions of this. Actually, no, there is. I just remembered Mob has a level 1 version of this, but it's like
Mob.
it's a little more scuffed. It's like it's a 101K backup,
Uh-huh.
and you have to discard to add it back instead of paying one.
Uh,
Uh,
uh, B minus for briefcase K. Last card in green.
okay, this is that back to work, which is the other target for the speaker.
Hmm.
He has climax combo. When dealing with stress, which is a bug, is placed in your climax area, you can pay one. If you do, he gets 3000 power and the following ability on reverse clock kick. And then he also has the what I call the Levi restand effect, which
Mm-hmm.
is during the turn he's played, if he reverses his battle opponent, you can pay three, ditch a character and sack a character to stand him and moving to another position of the stage. So you can immediately see sort of the idea here is like, okay, you can reverse one guy and then you can stand, go to the next lane, reverse another one, and get two clock kicks in the process.
Yeah.
Uh, because that's a little powerful, I felt the need to scuff the combo, quote unquote, by adding the extra stock just to gain extra power. Uh, but yeah, other than that, I think it's a pretty cute just idea in general. And I felt like it might be a little strong, but it's also a bag, so I feel like it evens out nicely.
I would agree with that. God, this card just feels like it'd be good. As far as restanders go, as far as like funny restander combo shenanigans, I know that at one point I was trying to find a place to put something like this in a set. And I don't know if I actually succeeded on that or when I was messing around with designs did something else. But yeah, this I like this. I also like that it only fires twice because he only goes back to work the once. It's not like he's gonna
Yeah,
like
yeah,
multiple times.
basically. Yeah, that's kind of the reason it's on this specifically. It was just okay. I guess it's just I'm like, okay, we're going back to work, so we're standing up again. Yeah, that's all there is in terms of flavor. There is just cool technology that they want to try. I'm
Yeah,
still gonna give it a plus though, because I think it's genuinely a really cool combination.
yeah, absolutely, it is.
Yeah.
The like, man, and he swings at 14K before anything else. That's I love it.
Yeah, that's the benefits of the increased cost.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's just massive. I love that. All right, leaving green behind, we move on to red and the red guy. It's a very
There's the
apt
red guy.
description of him being red. If this card is in your level zone, this card gets both color yellow and color green. He is a one card color fix for the entire set. All of your opponent's characters get Encore 2. And when this card becomes reversed, if you have one or less other trade characters, put this card into your clock. This card's wild and I love it.
Yeah,
At minimum, just
yeah.
because he's
Okay.
one card color fix.
Okay, so there are two cards in the set that have. There is a double red guy that is like a much stronger version of this, where he also has this experience effect, but his other effects are a lot better.
Mm.
But as I always say, I don't like intentionally locking people behind RRs to play, just have the set function.
Yeah.
So I want to have like a trial deck alternative, and this is just what I came up with, like a 4K bitter. It has a slightly worse like extra downside, but it still is in service of getting him into your level zone eventually. But yeah, I think it's fine. It's serviceable for what I needed of him, and that's basically it. The idea of him being all colors in level was a bit of a. It's mainly because there are a lot of shenanigans, and I don't want to think about how colors factor in the shenanigans. And Red Guy definitely has the most mood swings throughout the television series.
Hmm.
He's constantly shifting his perspective.
Yeah.
Like, as you will see in this card, which is in episode one, he says that he wants to do nothing.
Yeah.
Once we go to his double rare card with the same effect, that card is called Red Guy Wanting to Go Somewhere Else. He changed his perspective
Yeah.
in just 5 episodes. And
Hmm.
I thought, okay, maybe we can represent that by saying that he has a bunch of colors inside him. He's full of emotions.
That's really neat. I like that.
Anyway, yeah.
Hmm. All right.
Okay, we're moving on.
Is the next card also very neat? Well,
Yeah, this is the vending machine. Uh, okay, it's the trial deck draw brainstorm flip 5. And then he has this pretty old school bond effect from Goblin Slayer where you have act put this card in your clock to grab the event from the Dralding event, which is the restaurant style lasagna from your waiting room and add to your hand. That's we will see the event a little bit. It's nothing too special. It's just a pretty simple burn event. But yeah, the idea is obviously okay. This is the vending machine. It's going to give you your food, and that's
hmm.
kind of what's the idea there. Yeah,
Which is
and
wild because it's a vending machine dealing out lasagna of all things. Like, dang.
yeah.
I guess.
Okay, actually, if you see, it deals out specifically. That's quote from the show. It's lasagna, cigarettes, and hot black water.
Hot black water?
Yeah, yeah. If you see inside the glass, you see the
What?
lasagna on the bottom.
Yeah.
The middle is the cigarettes, and on top we have the hot black water.
What? Okay. What could they possibly mean by hot black water? That's very concern. I mean, you know what? Never mind. No, I'm applying logic. That's the one thing you're not supposed to do. Um,
Yeah.
it's it's a
Yeah,
2D
that's why I like,
2D card.
it does the job.
Yeah.
It's funny.
I, the the put this card in your clock actually like the idea. I do kind of like it as like because I've seen like you've got like admin, which is just a wild ass card, and Sao, right? That's like, oh yeah, clock yourself for some like crazy event, and this is like, oh yeah, do that for but you don't have to do it until you're like level 3. It's fine, just pop it back.
Yeah, yeah. Goblin Slayer has had two of these, two back row cards that both lock themselves to add different level 3 events.
Holy shit!
Yeah, like, and they are both really crazy events too. But yeah, it was
Okay,
something that saw some play, because that Goblin Slayer deck was all about making use of a bunch of one-off utility events.
Goblin Slayer, the
But yeah,
gift that
this
keeps
is
on
cool.
giving. All right, bye bye vending machine. Oh, this guy. Oh wait, hold on, this guy. This is Andy, being a cheeky guy. He's a bit of a cheeky guy. Sometimes this. If you have another red character with Brainstorm in your backstage, this card gets plus 3,500 power and Clock Encore. Now,
Yeah, okay, so okay, you have something to say immediately,
the
or do you want
the
the
math.
explanation?
I'm very curious on the math on that. How
It's
do we
nothing
get?
special. It's like when you have like conditions, it's basically treated as if it was just a trait. no matter how many extra things you add on it. So it's as if he said, if you have a June 20th character in your backstage, I just
Really
specify a red character with brainstorm.
fascinating. I know that we've had cards that are like search for a character with alarm or something like that. But like I would have thought that it would have been like an extra multiplier just on top of that as an okay, fair
Yeah,
enough.
no, no. I think the way it works from what we've seen is basically just, does your card have a modifier or does it not? That's it. It doesn't care how many it has.
Huh.
On the surface, this is meant to just be the filler 1/1 bitter of the trial deck, but as the name implies, he's a bit of a cheeky guy in how he goes about it. This is one of the characters in the factory, which from episode 1, and basically the workers in the factory, they have two things that they absolutely love. The first thing is the vending machine, and the second thing is Mr. Peterson, which is their boss. It just so happens that the only two red characters with brainstorm in the whole set are the vending machine and the red guy Mr. Peterson, that we will see later in the core set.
Oh my god.
That's pretty cheeky, isn't it?
That is fucking hell. Smooth. That's smooth.
Yeah.
Uh,
This gets the plus for the cheekiness.
this card is this card would this card belongs in the TD, but that is yeah, I do like that as a as a very much flavor over function card. That's so goofy.
Yeah.
Also, it's Clock Encore. How often do you get Clock Encore these days? Not often. Slime has it for reasons that are only known to God and someone at Bushi Road. Good job, Andy. Moving along. Vending Machine 2.
Yeah, this one's me, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the free vending machine. Okay, this is the. Okay, just like we had the filler 1/1 bitter, this is the filler 2/2 bitter of the
Mm.
trial deck. He gets 1,000 power for every other June 20th character. On play, if you have a full board, he stocks a June 20th character or a restaurant style lasagna from your weather room into your stock. And he also has traded hand on core. It's pretty simple,
Yep.
but the one thing that's sort of the funny thing here is when they first go to the vending machine, everyone gets their lasagna, their cigarettes, and their whatever, except for Duck, because he's not a compliant worker, so he doesn't get to get his food, and instead he has to go to the free vending machine, which is this thing. And
Ah.
the free vending machine, he gives him like liquid something that's supposed to be lasagna, and after he does that, he says what he says here in the flavor text. Actually, that's too much. Put some back. And that's the inspiration for him stocking the event on play.
That is a fun variant on the on play form or stocking guy. I'm sure that someone else that somewhere else you have like give a named event as an option for that, but I don't remember seeing it. So that's cool.
Yeah, no, it's just the standard. You can add an extra named event
Yeah.
if you feel like it.
Yeah, I just haven't seen like a Bushi example of it. That's cool.
Yeah, I don't think in these effects there is an example, but in general they
Yeah,
have it in all of the stuff.
for sure.
But yeah, that's that.
All right.
And then
Last but not least,
last card.
the lasagna. This is a 3/2 event. Put the top 4 cards of your deck in your waiting room and deal X damage to your opponent, where X is the number of level 1 or higher cards among those.
Yeah, it's an event that already exists, and that's about it.
Hmm.
It's here because I just needed an event to close things out. You can grab it with your vending machine to help you close the game. If you want flavor, I guess you can say this is what will happen to you if you eat the lasagna, and leave
Yeah.
it at that.
I do like it as like kind of your end game with the trail deck being like 2 copies of Duck, a third guy, it just like in the they just put in center to be a
Yeah,
third
to
beater.
sacrifice. Yeah,
Yeah, and then you just
yeah,
have this
and to
event
yeah,
also.
to sack with that. Yeah.
I
Oh,
do.
actually, I didn't even think about that. In my mind, I thought, okay, the deck would only resolve like once, and then the other one would just clock. But I just realized because I have the Encore characters, you can technically Encore them to resolve your second deck a second time.
Oh, that's also true.
So yeah, it has a little more. You can actually push the end game a little more than I thought.
Oh yeah, yeah. If you put them in like, if they're in back row,
Eh,
you
eh,
can do that.
no, I don't know. I think you can.
Yeah, if it
I'm,
back row
I'm
for
not
the
sure. I'm
encore,
not
you can do
sure.
that. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm not
you.
sure. I think there is something tricky you can do here, but yeah.
Yeah, the major thing being that you don't really need both ducks resolving because like you can't clock kick 4 times.
Yeah, you
That's
still
probably
get
the
an
only
extra
issue.
attack. Yeah, that's
But yeah,
basically. Yeah,
true. You do get the 4 attacks.
yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
That's the idea. Yeah, but that's the idea of doing this. That you would get the fourth attack pretty much.
So you could get that, huh? Yeah, that's you could run 5. You could get a 5 attack setup in the trial deck. That's fun. All right.
Yeah, it's definitely pretty hammed up trial deck.
Yeah,
I won't
like
deny that.
it definitely is doing stuff that is very neat and like that you don't really see that often. I do like that there isn't just a random empty 2 soul that you don't get to do anything else with, and you know that's been pushed elsewhere. I like because that's something that the Hololive trial decks figured out, which is part of why they're so good. Is just that
I mean, yeah.
you know.
I will say this is a new for me. Like all of my other trial decks have only one combo. This is the first time I tried a two combo one.
Hmm,
So, and I think it turned out pretty well. But I don't know. But it was definitely out of my comfort zone, I guess,
hmm.
to do it this way.
That's fair. With the way the quality variations in trial decks, I think the fact that you have a set like Free Run where the trial deck combo lineup may actually be the best combination in the set. I don't think we're in danger of anything like that here, but just like playable trial decks are very good. I think you did good. I think this is totally a trial deck that I would grab 2 of and then just kind of throw cardboard at the wall and see what happens until you start buying into the main set. Good work.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, thanks.
And with that, so this was the first one of these I actually had a trial deck because I don't really ever make trial decks. But with that, the next time we show up, we will be going over yellow. So until then, peace.
Bye.